Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Any Kind Media. We are your hosts. My name is Ocean Subiano.
I'm Taylor Vieira.
On this episode of Our Take, we're going to bring to you Weekend 2 of Call of Duty's Modern Warfare 2 Open Beta. We are not going to do a full game review, or a full beta review, I should say, because we did do that last week. If you want to check out our video on that, it'll give you guys a better idea of what to expect from the game as a whole. On this particular episode, being Weekend 2, we're going to talk about the changes that Activision made. We're going to talk about the changes that we think need to be made. And we're also going to talk about the things that we hope to see retained when the full game comes out. Because I think, both of us are pretty excited about this game. We both like it, right? Neither one of us are canceling our pre-order or anything. And I think it's a game that we're going to play pretty heavily. So, and on top of that, for all the Call of Duty executives that watch our channel, we got to let them know what needs to be changed. And, that way they can...
We know what's best.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah. This is the best place to come for Call of Duty content.
Number one.
Number one. So, let's start off with the changes that, first off, spoilers right off the bat, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't want anybody crying about us spoiling anything.
Yeah.
But let's start off with the changes that Activision made itself. So, we got 2 new game modes, right, Taylor?
There's for sure one new game mode.
Well, I mean, Search was only added this weekend, right?
No, I played it before.
Well, we only got one new game mode then, apparently.
Yeah. It's like a side game mode of Ground War.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the standard Ground War, but it's like a new...
Yeah, the new version of it, I guess. It's called Invasion.
Well, because I think there's a regular Ground War mode. This is like the...
Oh, so there's going to be a Ground War and then there's going to be Invasion? What's the difference, though?
I mean, there's a big difference. Like, the Invasion is like...
Oh, right. Because Invasion is more like TDM based.
Kind of,
it's
yeah.
Like
that was one of the things I was going to talk about is like changing is I feel like it's a okay game mode, but I think it needs to be changed. Or, some changes to it.
We'll get into that.
But yeah, new game mode. They increased the level cap up to 30.
Right.
So now you can unlock a lot of all the things. Some of them you still can't really tweak in the Gunsmith.
Which is, I don't understand. I don't understand why they do that. I don't understand why.
It's because...
Why let us unlock it but not be able to tweak
It's because of how the new Gunsmith system works.
It's all based off of platforms and stuff.
If they let us use everything with all the guns that are in the game, you would probably see 90% of the guns in the game. And then people would be complaining about it when the game comes out. So they can't really show off everything, and they don't really need to. They just need to know that the system works.
Right.
Which it does. There's still ways to get around like some things.
Yeah.
With as far as like glitches and stuff go. But yeah. I mean, all the guns are good and everything, which we talked about in our other video. So you just get more of it now. And yeah. I think there was a few balance changes which came in this update, which is kind of weird. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but it's just strange that they are already implementing balance changes before the full game comes out.
I mean, I think when you have a split weekend, when you have a split beta weekend, I think it's kind of expected by the general population for them to make improvements upon what they saw on the first weekend. I think people would be complaining.
Yeah, but like,
especially
some things don't translate across platforms, so... Something that's broken on PC might not be the same case on console.
That's true.
So it's weird to make changes before the second. I would expect the changes to come out before the game launch, like day 0 patch, not beta update. I mean, it's still nice to see, but it's kind of weird at the same time.
Are you referring to like the FSS Hurricane? And it's nerf?
No, nothing in like particular. It's just
the idea of patching stuff in general.
Yeah, because I've played other games where doing that ahead of time, then you sometimes it skews in the complete opposite direction, where you think one thing is broken here just because like things, especially when it's the reverse. Like if it's something that's really good for us, it could be even worse for PC.
Right.
Because they're just different mechanics
Yeah.
as far as like the peripherals and stuff go. So, but yeah, it's just a minor thing.
No, that makes sense. Any other major changes that you saw throughout our first 2 days of playing the second weekend?
Yeah, it's a lot of little minor things, which some I still included on my list. Like audio things, sprinter fires, reload times, and stuff like that. I noticed were slightly changed from the first weekend.
Being, I noticed reload times, but sprint to fire is shorter now or longer?
It's faster.
Faster,
so
for sprint
shorter.
to fire.
Yeah. Because in the first weekend, I would say it was like very noticeable how slow it was.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely was going to mention, but like now that it's changed for this weekend too, I think it's actually fine.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was a problem for me the first weekend.
Yeah. All right.
But I think they just did a blanket shorten of time. I don't know specifics.
Oh, it makes sense. Probably easier to do it that way. Okay, so those are the changes that Activision implemented and the things that they changed.
At least that we noticed.
Some for the worse and some for better, as it's always going to be whenever devs make updates and patches. But let's talk about some changes that we think need to be made, because there's a couple for me that are really big and I think need to be changed like immediately. And I'm sure
should start with the big ones.
Yeah. So the biggest one, in my opinion, is the menus. Going through the menus in the game.
100% agree.
Like I know we talked about it a little bit in our last episode last week on it, but after playing another weekend and running into the same issues, and then like I didn't really think about it too much last weekend because I wasn't the team leader or the party leader very often last weekend, but this weekend I was the party leader a lot, and it screwed me up a lot. Like there's so many times where I would back out too far and then be kicked out of the party, or like somebody would get kicked out of the party because we switched to a different game mode or something. It's just the menu navigation for this game is just not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I agree. This is honestly my priority number one for this game.
Needs to be changed.
And the only thing is I almost can't know if it deserves to be shit on, but I'm going to anyways because I don't know what the full game is going to be like.
Right.
This might be a beta specific thing.
Menu system.
Because of how it's laid out, it almost looks like it because it's like almost advertisement based. So it's hard to be super critical, but I'm going to just in case that it's the same.
Right.
And I'll break it down by like which portions I'm talking about specifically.
Yep, go for it.
So when you boot up the game, past the cinematic thing, whatever, it says Infinity Ward, all that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It brings you up to the message of the day is the first thing you see.
Right.
I should not be seeing this when I first booted up the game. I get that it's like something you want to be, that's like your promotion thing.
Advertisement, yeah.
But keep it like every other Call of Duty you've ever had and just make it like a super quick thing.
Pop up and then you click click circle.
Either it'll just automatically go away or just one tap it's gone. Yeah. I don't want this dedicated window for messages a day that I have to then scroll to go through play the game, all this other, like the store, whatever, you
don't care. Yeah.
And on top of that, when the full game comes out, which typically it is included, but I don't know if it is on this one, is there's an option to choose what do you want it to immediately load up first, which I typically put multiplayer.
Right.
So if that is in the full game, that kind of should circumvent all of this. But just for some reason, you have to go through that just to get into a lobby to do whatever you want to do.
Right.
On top of that, I guess options button or whatever, and you pop up your
the stuff on the top right
stuff in your top right, whatever it's called in your particular platform. That menu is also fucked. All right. For some reason, There's some things that they added in it which I do like, but at the same time it's like super complicated for no reason. So the first menu that pops up, it just has a bunch of default things. That is a quick menu.
Right.
So that is something you can customize to add what you prefer to use or access all the time. And so you can click on when you first hit the options button, it'll have the things that you just want there all the time.
Sure.
The problem is nobody does that in anything.
Yeah.
So like this is a new thing that is just like theoretically would be nice, but we've never had this before. So it's kind of just like too much for us right now. Especially for Call of Duty, I feel like it's just unnecessary.
Well, I mean, how
Like,
many
this is
things
almost
can
like
you
a-
really put there? You know, like,
Yeah, it's almost like something I would expect on PC, but I'm not playing on PC, so I don't want this.
yeah. I can't imagine there being that many things that I would need like quick access to.
Yeah. Just
especially
for
if
a
you
first
make-
person shooter, like, and it's not even
Yeah.
like a RPG or anything like that. Like, you don't really need any of this stuff. The thing is, it should just immediately pop up to like settings,
Right.
and then you can just go through the menus of like audio, video, general, whatever, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So that's complicated for no reason. They did create a new channel system, which I do like, only for crossplay.
Channel,
So,
like audio channel system or chat channel system.
Yeah, so they basically built a Discord into
Oh,
the game.
right.
So now whenever you're in the game, you will be in your own dedicated your name party or channel,
Right.
and people can join your channel. When they join your party, they join that channel as well.
Right.
So when you're in chat or using comms, you're automatically in a private channel. You can swap to the lobby channel or whatever, and you can just make private channels. So the thing that's nice about it is if I'm playing and I want to play with somebody that's on PC or
Right.
Xbox, I can make a party with you in game.
Right.
And I don't need to hear every other jackass in the lobby spouting out stupid noises and crap.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing. However, we've never had this before. And so again, for console specifically, it's kind of a pain in the ass navigating through the menu.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of this might be not as bad on PC just because you have a mouse and
Right.
you just kind of speed through
So
everything.
maybe the user interface for console players needs to be smoothed out a little bit
it
more.
has to be streamlined, basically. Like,
Yeah, make it a little bit easier for us to not have to press 40 million buttons.
because the same thing too, like I know, and it's so weird. They put out this code of conduct thing. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did.
Get out of here, Call of Duty.
Come on, Call of Duty. We all
Don't
know.
act like you don't know what your game
Yeah,
is. Like,
we all know everybody is not doesn't give a rat's ass about
everybody's
that
gonna
code of
talk shit,
conduct.
yeah, but anyways, I say that because on top of the channels, like it's not just for voice chat; it's also for text.
Right.
So if you want to talk shit in text, it takes forever because you're like lobby channel, swap text chat, and then you gotta like on top of that you gotta click like team,
Right.
full game, like so you gotta swap between that on top of that, and then like by the time I'm typing out my message, again this is a console problem, but if I'm typing something out real quick, like even if I just want to be like GG.
Yeah.
Like to do that, which on
Would take
PC
a
would take
while.
like 2 seconds, takes like 3 minutes on console.
Yeah.
And then the game's over. The lobby disbands, and it's like, oh well, there's no point.
That is a fair point for sure. I just think the menus just need an overhaul in general. I think they should good effort. The menus work. They navigate fine. It's not like there's.
They look good.
Yeah,
like
visually they're
functions,
fine,
It's
but
just too complicated.
playability, usability, just not.
It's not
good.
user-friendly,
Yeah, it's just not good. So, I personally think it just needs an overhaul, and maybe just simplification more so.
Yeah.
Just simplify everything. Don't give us all these crazy.
just
Like, don't make me choose a game mode and then have to click start again. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you choose a
it's
game
just
mode.
too.
And then you have to click X again to start looking for that game mode. It's like, why? Like, I clicked on the game mode.
Yeah.
Start looking for the game mode. Like, what?
Well, on top of that too, like if you just want to change game modes,
Yeah.
it's not a drop down list. You have to
No.
back out of a menu to
Yeah.
go to the big menu, select the game mode, then it puts
Yeah.
you in that game mode lobby. So like it's not just like you're in a lobby
Right.
and swap between game modes. You have a dedicated lobby per game mode. Like you have to keep backing out for that stuff,
Yeah.
and it's weird.
Okay, last thing I do want to say on menus, and this was something that was a problem or just it was something that happened in Modern Warfare 2019 as well. And I don't understand. I don't get why they can't fix this.
The loadout thing.
Why is it that when the party leader enters a lobby or pulls the party out of a lobby,
Basically
that it kicks everybody out of whatever screen they're in and returns them to the lobby screen? I don't get it, because I don't remember that being a problem in the past. I don't remember having that issue in the past. If I'm adjusting my loadout, I should not have to tell the party leader, hey, give me a couple minutes to adjust my loadout. Don't fucking do anything. Because it's dumb. Like, it just takes extra time. Or you run into a situation where, like, you're trying to hurry up and get into a game, and then the party leader can't start a search for a game because he's waiting for people to be done with their loadouts. Otherwise, they're going to get kicked out. Then you're going to have to go back into the loadout screen, change a whole bunch of stuff, or restart whatever changes you were making. And to me, I don't understand why we can't stay in that screen.
I don't know if there's like a limitation thing as far as like the engine goes for it or something.
There's no way, man. Irritating. It's 2022. Come on.
But they just might not have like that built into. I don't know.
Build the damn thing. It can't be that hard to build that in there. I mean, obviously, I'm not a game dev.
I have no idea how hard that is.
But come on, I swear that it's never been a problem. Like, I cannot remember for the life of me any of the other Call of Duties are being pulled out of a menu, like pulled out of the loadout menu or whatever menu I'm in, when we're looking for, like, when you get put into and out of a lobby.
They're using different versions of.
Yeah, so like, fix it. Like,
figure it out.
This is the second game in a row. Like, come on.
Yeah, I agree, though. It is annoying.
It's so annoying. There's so many times where I'm trying to adjust something in my loadout. I get kicked out because we get put into a lobby, but then the party leader put us into the wrong game mode. So then by the time I go back into the loadout screen and start trying to make the changes that I was making before, I get pulled back out, and then it just happens all the time. And then I literally have to be like, hey, give me a minute. Like, goddamn.
Yeah. I do have a small, very minor. It's kind of just like a side thing if you have time, for the menu. I would personally like to see, because like it looks nice and everything, but I almost kind of want it to be like, I guess like Fortnite, in the sense that like when we're in a party, I want to see everybody.
Yeah.
It's a very minor thing, but like that would be very cool to see everybody.
Yeah, I like the concept that they have where you're like in a garage.
Yeah, like it looks good. It looks nice, but because it's so cinematic, you don't really get to like constantly see everybody. Sometimes it's just
most of the time it's just you. Thing. Most of the time it's just like
most of the time
zoomed in on
I
your
just
character.
See the party leader.
Yeah, or
like last night I only saw
your
character for the most part.
Yeah,
occasionally I would see like somebody else, but I prefer it to just be like one set shot, and then like as people join the party, it kind of just populates them in there.
Or if you're gonna do the whole cinematic thing, zoom out a little bit and pan over everybody more often, and actually,
because like I said, I only really saw like 2 characters.
Yeah,
because of the weird angle that it's at.
Yeah,
but
that's definitely fix it.
Although I will say, of those character models on the lobby screen, still got them visual glitches, not holding things correctly, just kind of no clipping and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll get smooth.
Minor, but fix that shit. Yeah. I don't want to see that.
All right, let's move on to something you got, because I had the last thing.
Yeah, I had that as well. Okay. Like I said, the menu thing is a big one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, what else is big? Actually, that's probably the biggest thing.
I mean, it's 100% the biggest thing, but
everything else to me is like, that I have listed as really minor to me.
Okay.
I'll pick my second biggest one. Though.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about this before. It's crazy to me because nobody mentions this. Of all the videos that I've like watched of other people's opinions on it, nobody ever talks about this. And it is a feature that they had mentioned themselves in COD Next. It is this new system for the player or like characters. And they make it supposed to be like a natural movement. So like when you're like, like strafing or something, your character will actually like kind of lean and stuff.
Right.
Which is cool. like it's kind of realistic, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's a disconnect in this game which pisses me off, and I don't know why nobody else like mentions it. So even though you can, I guess, see it on characters, like when you're watching somebody, and you're like battling each other, and you're both strafing, your view doesn't change.
Yeah.
Like you're literally just like for the most part, static to the point where you can accurately shoot them.
Right.
But your character is like doing this Rainbow Six Siege like dodging thing.
And the hitboxes move
because
with
the
it
hitbox
too.
goes with it, right? So your character is dodging this weird shit that I like in Siege. I can deal with it because in Siege it actually works properly.
It's a game mechanic that's built in that you have control over.
Yes, like you manually do this, but in Call of Duty, this new one, it's like natural. So you don't even, it just does it without you even realizing it.
The game does
even
it,
though you should be realizing it. So this is the disconnect is if you want to have it in this game, because to me it's broken.
Yeah.
You either need to make it either one controllable, which I doubt it.
Yeah, there's
so you don't want to do that. But if you don't want to do that, your view should match your character's movements. So if I start strafing left and my character is like turned, like like leaning left, your view should lean, not this like unrealistic, just fucking doesn't, you're just staring straight ahead. Not that you can't do that in real life, but like because of the way they have it in this game, it needs to be that way.
No,
because right now you're gaining all the benefits without any of the negatives of strafing.
Right. Yep.
And I don't care that people strafe, but if you want this as a feature, you need to properly handle it.
I think it's inconsistent too, like because I've seen it sometimes, and then there's other times where I'll watch somebody strafe and it doesn't do it. They'll like just lean one way and stay that way the whole time.
I feel like, I don't know, for me, like I feel like people know it's there and they just abuse it. Because whenever people strafe now, because they know it's in there, they do this fucking wiggle. I'm sure you'll see it when you guys are playing.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times.
They don't just go in one direction now. They just literally stand there and wiggle because even though they're not moving, their character and the hitbox along with it is dodging.
Right.
Like, and like I said, if you want it to be in there, make it work how it should work, like it is in Siege.
Don't
like
make it
when somebody does it in
benefit.
Siege, I can actually, compensate for their movement, and on top of that, their movement screws them over themselves a little bit because they have to train themselves to aim while like swapping, and it's actually like impressive when somebody can like do that. Versus this, where it's just cheating essentially,
because
but it's built into the
you don't
system.
have to do anything and it just does it for you.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be an advantage,
right?
Because it's meant to be a visual improvement upon player movement. It's not meant to be a mechanic.
Being an advantage is not the issue. It's just you can't compensate for this.
Yeah,
and there's no downside to it.
Right.
Which doesn't always need to be a case.
Well, there's got to be a balance.
For this, it does.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. All right. My next one that I want to talk about is spawns. Okay.
Spawns on here too.
Yeah. So, Farm 18, spawns are abysmal. Like, so bad in my opinion. And okay, so in the last episode we talked about how these maps are. Their intention is, or it seems like their intention is to make them less 3-laney, right? It's meant to be a little bit more porous, a little bit, which I think is great. However, what it seems like they did on Farm 18 specifically is, like, let's think of the map as a rectangle, right? A lot of Call of Duty maps are more or less rectangles, right?
Yeah.
And it for as long as Call of Duty's been around, like probably 99% of the time, the spawns have been on the two short sides of the rectangle, right? Which makes sense. But on Farm 18, the spawns are on the long side of the rectangle. And the problem with that is it takes less time for people to push through the spawn threshold and force a spawn swap. So you end up with both teams spawning on one side at the same time. I've had so many times where I've spawned and I've died to somebody behind me that just spawned. Or the vice versa, where I've spawned and then all of a sudden I turn a corner and there's a dude that spawned right there and I kill him. Yeah. So to me, it's just because you're spawning on the long side of the rectangle, you're able to the people are able to push so far forward that then the spawn swaps to the short side of the triangle or the other side of like the far side of the long side of the triangle, and then you're just putting spawns right next to each other, and it just makes for chaotic gameplay that is purely timing. It's purely COD timing, and I don't think that's good.
Yeah. As far as the spawns go, I didn't really want to be super specific. I do feel like it's different on this weekend than it was the first weekend. The main thing I wanted to talk about the spawns was because I don't like the new system they have for spawning. Like, it's not so much the issue with like flipping and all that, because I don't think that's what this is. Sometimes it feels different too, like based on the maps. It's super weird. Anyways, I feel like there's generally two different types of spawns systems for general 6v6 and the new ground war. I've noticed are very different. So the new 6v6, the spawn system is kind of like, I guess I'm sure you guys have heard of it. They're kind of calling it squad-based system, where in the sense is there is no set location for spawning in this. It seems like in this game, it's all the general population of your team. So as your team is moving around the map, that is where your spawn's gonna be, which is fucked. Because like that means you can literally spawn, like you said, in front of somebody, behind somebody, right next to an enemy spawning. Yeah. Because you both could be fighting each other.
Right.
And so you're just being shoved into each other's face instead of it being like one end of the map and the other end. And I think it's just a super flawed system for 6v6.
Yeah.
For ground war, it's the complete opposite. Yeah. And this is why I don't like the ground war mode, is if you want it to be, big team battle like Battlefield, make it like Battlefield. Right, that should be squad-based spawning.
Give us the ability to spawn on our squad.
That should be where that is. But instead, on that game mode, it's dedicated. So this is your team spawn, and that's their team spawn on one end, and you just have to run or drive to the middle and fight it out forever. Yeah. And it takes forever when you die and you're like trying to get back in, unless you're just getting spawn camped by the entire team.
Right.
So it should be swapped, in my opinion, if you're going to have that, where you should have dedicated locations and then flip when a majority of the enemy force is in your spawn. It should then swap you to something else.
Yeah. I like dynamic spawning. Don't get me wrong. I like that they're trying to figure out different ways to spawn people so that you don't end up, so that the ability to spawn camp is minimized. Because I mean, anybody that plays Call of Duty knows that getting spawn camped is just like the worst feeling ever in Call of Duty.
And in any game is horrible.
Yeah. So I understand that they're trying to combat that, but the way they're doing it right now is just not working. And it's honestly, for some reason, it feels like it's more emphasized on Farm 18 and the what is the shit map name?
Mercado Los Alamos.
That one too.
Okay, that one's changed this weekend, and I actually really hate it this weekend.
Well, yeah.
So what they changed them this weekend is now the location has changed.
Yeah.
So instead of it being the long ways,
right,
now you're on the short side, and the map is not built to be that way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the same thing. You're spawning on the long sides of the rectangle now.
Right, but Farm 18 doesn't. It's not as bad as the other map because there's like more connections. Mercado, no, there's like. It's hard to explain if you haven't played it.
Yeah, the tunnel.
But the only connections is the far ends, and then like in the middle, there's like a off-centered connection on either side. But the flow of that doesn't work.
No.
Whereas Farm 18, it's like it's just kind of a clusterfuck. But Mercado, it's just doesn't work.
Yeah,
and you just have to like change the spawn.
Yeah. I don't like it at all. So I think on the other two maps, like Brindberg Hotel, I haven't really noticed any problems with spawns there or the mansion.
Because they brought that back. I guess they took that off. I didn't even notice last weekend. No. Or yeah, the mansion.
Oh, I didn't know.
Or museum, sorry.
Oh yeah, museum, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice either. But they apparently there was a bug or something last weekend, so they took it off. Didn't notice it, but it's back this weekend.
Yeah, I didn't notice either. But that makes sense because there's like a stretch of time where me and Connor and Temo played like Farm 18 for like 15 matches in a row. Yeah. I was like, what the hell? But so yeah, I didn't notice it too much on Museum or on Brindberg Hotel, but the other two, I for sure noticed that the spawns just whatever system you're using, it needs to change because the way it is now is just going to make certain maps suck. Like half of your maps are going to suck, but because of the spawn system.
Yeah. Like the idea about it like sounds nice. Like, oh, I can help my like teammates if I spawn near them. But what really happens is I just spawn, die. And then once I get a normal spawn, I'm back in the game. Like then I can like,
you can actually
figure stuff out. Like
it's dumb. All right. Anything else you got on your list?
Yeah. Actually, I have a lot of stuff. So the invasion mode, I guess, since we already kind of talked about it, like I said, it's kind of wants to be Battlefield, and I'll be specific. It's like shitty Breakthrough.
Yeah.
Is what it is. It's essentially TDM, but like it feels like shitty Breakthrough. Because like even though it's primarily kill based, you still have like they still want you to get to this point on the map,
right,
and hold it. So it's kind of like Breakthrough, but not really. And there's like 20v20. There's also like 20v20 bots on top of that, so it's like 40v40. The bots suck.
Okay, here's what I'll say on.
I don't really. The thing is, like, they're stupid, but like, I don't really care, honestly.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the bots
because. And there's a lot of people complaining about these bots, but like, if they made them difficult, you would then be bitching about them aimbotting you.
Yeah.
So, just get over it.
I actually like the bots because to me, it amplifies gameplay, right? Instead of it being 20 versus 20 people that are just trying to be super sweaty,
sweat lords
and
running around,
running around on top of buildings, sniping. At least I can. Move around, kill some bots, maybe kill one or two players here and there per life, but at least I feel like I'm actually in combat for majority of the time that I'm playing Invasion.
This is the thing that I feel like it's people I think are just having a different perspective on what the point of these bots are for. They're not meant to replace players.
Right.
In my opinion, they're really just there for immersion.
Yeah, it's meant to
when they're
accentuate...
acting stupid, they're just acting stupid. But guess what? You fucking people do that anyways. Yeah. So there's no difference.
The funny thing
but the thing is, the bots, like, when I jump into a ground war game, and I'm like even if I'm playing Battlefield or Breakthrough, right? Uh-huh. I want this big team battle. So I just want to see a force just advancing into this city to take it over. Whether half of them are just bots and they're just like shooting at nothing, taking cover here, because they actually move very...
They're not bad.
I want to say like realistic, but it's not realistic at the same time. Just
I can tell, but
like you can tell because a player can't physically move like they move, but it's like cinematic.
Yeah,
and it's like cool but strange at the same time.
Yeah,
but again, it's just for immersion. It's like, and they're not gonna kill anybody. Like I haven't died to a bot.
I haven't died to a bot either.
But I don't really die a whole lot of players too, like except for like vehicles when I jump into them. Because I feel like they're really
everybody just targets vehicles.
Yeah,
well, they just target vehicles.
Targets the vehicles.
Same thing as Battlefield.
But no, Battlefield, nobody kills vehicles. You're wrong. That they need to, but they don't. But yeah, so I think they're totally fine.
Yeah.
They do what they need to do, which is not a whole lot. And I think you guys are just... I think most people are just overacting.
It's actually on my keep list. Well, I think
the game mode should stay. I just think it needs to be tweaked. Like I said, the spawns.
Yeah.
I want to be able to spawn on my squad.
Make the map a little bit bigger.
The other change would be, which I think they had it in Ground War, regular Ground War, is you spawn in, like you go to a spawn menu.
Uh-huh.
And if you can, I don't mind if they go back to that way where it's like I want to spawn on the dedicated team spawn or my squad, like in Battlefield.
Right.
If they do that, I'm totally cool with that too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But I think this game mode does need it. And then as far as like the balancing and stuff goes, the vehicles, super cool looking. The guns, like the 50 cal.
Yeah.
Modus on those things.
Sounds dope.
So cool. Yeah. Sounds really good. It actually feels pretty balanced. Like it's not like ridiculous, but it's not, complete trash like in Battlefield. So I think they're totally fine. They just it's weird how in Call of Duty everybody targets the vehicles, but Battlefield nobody even pays attention to them. I mean, they just end up destroying the entire game. But yeah. So I do think it's a good game mode.
The last change I have on my change list is it's going to be a very specific change, like a very specific thing, and it's actually something that we talked about. But in the Gunsmith menu, okay, Gunsmith menu.
Talk about this thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I have that too.
Gunsmith menu. We have all these different attachment categories, right? There's 9 of them or something like that. There's also a spot for you to choose your receiver. Now, I get it. You're trying to do this whole platform-based thing, but me choosing the receiver should not act as one of the attachments for my weapon. It's retarded. There's some times where I was building out a let's say for example an M4. I was building out an M4, but the receiver didn't have my cinder. What is it called?
Blueprint
skin.
Vault.
God, I can remember.
Vault
Skin, right? Didn't have the cinder skin on it. So I went into the receiver tab to put the cinder skin on it because, I pre-ordered the game. I want to run around with cinder. So I went in there to put it on, and it acts as an attachment. So then I can only put 4 more attachments on my weapon,
I've never
which
had
is
that.
Retarded.
But I've also never done that.
Yeah. Ultimately, it just shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
It
that
shouldn't
was
be
my
there.
thing is
Like,
Gunsmith
why?
works great. Everything, all good. This option right here, take it
just
away.
take it out.
Just take it out.
There's no reason
because
for
what
it.
you're trying to do, like was my point of why I brought it up initially in the first video. I've never done that. Like to put on the cinder thing, there's 2 ways I go about doing it. That's either individually per attachment and or when you click the M4 on the main menu, there's an option for cinder or whatever, your skin.
Yeah.
Like a blueprint. That's the way I put it on. So I've never ran into that issue where it counts as an attachment.
It just happened because I think, I don't know, maybe I forgot to click on cinder or whatever, and I just figured, I can change it here, right?
Yeah.
Like I didn't expect that to be
because what
an
this
actual
is actually
attachment.
for is to change the variant to like
Right.
the FTAC Recon or whatever.
Right.
But
is
like I said, there's
dumb.
no point in having that there.
Yeah.
Because you can do that in the main menu.
Right.
So
You
it's
just choose that
redundant.
weapon.
And on top of that, that's honestly what led to some of the glitches that we're, getting around in the beta.
Right.
Again, you wouldn't have that as a problem if it wasn't there. Just take it
Yeah.
away. Like
just
it's
take it away.
unnecessary.
I agree. I think
Everything
that
else is totally fine, but just take that away.
there's no reason for it to be there. So take it away, Activision.
Which again, this could be kind of combined with menu system because it's just the Gunsmith menu
Right.
system. They just need to be streamlined.
Yeah. Just take away that. Everything else about the Gunsmith I like.
Yeah, it's great.
I like it.
Everything is good.
Yeah.
Just take that.
Just
shit
take that away. Yeah.
Nobody really talks about that either, but in my opinion, that's irritating.
Yeah, it's super irritating, actually. Okay, that's the end of my change list. I don't know if you got any others you want to talk about real quick.
Yeah, I got a few. Like these are like even more minor to me. So there was a change in the audio, the footstep audio, from the first weekend to the second weekend.
I did notice that.
Now, I want to address this because honestly, I have no issue with it. However, apparently everybody bitches about it so much for some weird reason, and then everybody thinks it's too loud. Even though they dropped it, and people still think it's too loud. I don't think it's too loud. However, in order for you guys to stop complaining about it, I think they should drop it further. even though I think it's totally fine. And I don't know if this is just a personal issue, because I had the same thing with the first Modern Warfare, where
first Modern Warfare,
I didn't hear anything.
It was
Like,
the opposite.
People
you
are
couldn't
like,
hear
"Oh,
shit.
elephant feet, bro." Like, I don't know if I'm just deaf, or it's
Nah.
like the specific frequency that I just can't hear myself, which could be the thing. But
No, because I didn't hear shit either.
see, yeah, but like everybody else in the world on YouTube like complains about it. It's like, I don't know what you hear. Like, there was literally a video, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna play this recording for you. It doesn't matter if you're on your phone, your TV, you're gonna hear these elephant feet." And I heard literally nothing. I'm like, "What are you talking about, bro?" But I'll say I do hear footsteps in game, but it's really not that loud.
No, it's not that bad. There's been a few times where, like, there's actually been quite a few times where I hear somebody and it's helped me to, locate them and kill them, which...
But that's exactly what people are complaining about. But it's
that's
like,
the whole point. I mean...
It's like, I don't understand, like...
Why are you complaining about that? Switch to dead silence and run dead silence.
Well, the thing is, that's another one, is the whole dead silence thing. So, just as far as the footsteps themselves go, even though I think they're totally fine and people are just complaining to complain, go ahead and just try to lower them even more than you already did for the second weekend. And that's all I'll say for that. Now, the second thing is the whole dead silence thing. I don't understand why people complain so much that dead silence is a field upgrade and not a perk.
Yeah.
I think it's totally fine as a field upgrade.
Why?
Because I use it all the time.
And it charges
It charges
fast.
up very fast. People are like, "Yeah, you get it maybe once or twice per." No, you don't.
Crap!
Bro.
You only
literally
use it once or
yeah,
twice
like
a game.
I get this thing all the time. Like I'll get it like 10 times in a game. It does not take that long to charge. And I think they probably made it even shorter this weekend than the first weekend.
So, because there's been a couple times where I'm playing like Knockout or Prison Rescue or something, and I'll get it within the first round. Yeah, like the first round of it. It
happens very fast. So I don't know why people complain about it.
Yeah, people are just complaining to complain.
It's connected to like a whole slew of things that people complain about, of like camping and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. But as far as the dead silence thing, look, I think it's totally fine, like how it is as a field upgrade. I would be okay if they brought Ninja into this game, if you bring sit rep, because I don't like this thing where players are like, "Oh, I need this to counter this, but then give me a counter to yours."
Yeah,
because if you
shouldn't
like
have ultimate.
The same thing, like if you're gonna complain like, "Oh, I don't have Juggernaut," then give me stopping power.
Yeah.
So if you want Ninja, fine, put in a perk for Ninja and make it replace like the second category, the bonus perk.
Yeah.
If you want it to be the ultimate, sure, I don't care. It doesn't really matter. One of the two. It just shouldn't be a starting perk.
Definitely not.
So if they do that, it's fine. But if they do that, give me sit rep too. Then I better like hear you coming from like 2 miles away. Like, with that perk. Yeah. So
I think the whole point of them taking sit rep and Ninja out of the perk set is to counteract that, so that people can't just either one, run around the map completely silent and nobody ever hears them, or two, you can just hear everybody running around the map and know where everybody is at all times.
Because the thing that's so stupid is whenever I listen to these people complain about it, it's like, you don't realize that you're literally you're acting the exact same as the complete opposite end of the spectrum. But you think that you're justified just because it's your preference. So because guess what? When people play Search and Destroy, like for years, everybody runs the same thing. It's always dead silence, ghost, and like tracker or some other random stupid perk. Everybody runs it. That's the perk loadout for Search and Destroy, and it's been that way for years. That's stupid. Like, if you just want to run around not hearing anybody, just go like literally turn your volume off.
Sure.
Like, I don't know why you want to do that. Like, I don't get what's the like appeal to it. Like, I get the advantage side to it, but if there's an advantage, there should be a disadvantage.
Right. Everybody is asking for a specific advantage for them without being willing to have some kind of counter to it, and
which is just stupid. I think it's like this weird entitlement thing for gamers, and I don't understand. I don't know if it's just a Call of Duty. I feel like it is.
I think it's just a Call of Duty thing, dude.
Because like There's a video like I'll show you later that like, and dude, you listen to his like opinions on things. It's like, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Like he made a complaint, like, oh, he's like UAVs are too strong. Which one? That's kind of the point. Is to make them better. One, people don't get them as often now,
right?
And because can't have ghosts right away, yeah, that makes them more valuable. That's good. Right. There's nothing wrong with that. Because guess what? If you want to rush, you're gonna be seen. You're gonna be heard.
Right.
You don't need to be running around like a god. Like that's not fair.
Yeah.
So nobody cares about it.
It's not balanced gameplay.
Right. And secondly, he's like, oh, then I have to run this launcher to shoot this UAV down, but then I can't have a pistol. Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
You want to help the team and kill the UAV? Take a launcher. If you don't take a launcher. It's that simple. You can't complain about not being able to do everything. That's the whole point that they're trying to get away from, is this weird one-man army mentality of I could do everything. Yeah. That's not what this game needs to be. I know that it's kind of been there, like for Call of Duty, but like not to the point that people are making for this game. Yeah. Like you're expecting too much out of yourself.
I agree. 100%. All right, let's move on to talking about some good things. Let's talk about some things that we want to keep or we hope to make it to the final product of the game.
Before we do, let me just rip through the other.
Real quick.
Minimap. Think it's totally fine as it is.
Sure.
People want it to be changed back to how it was. I don't care either way.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any problems with it at all.
I don't. This is another thing, like player thing, but stop staring at the minimap.
Yeah.
In my opinion, just get over it.
Play
but if they want to change it back, okay, that's fine. Jumping. So now that people can't like slide cancel around everywhere, everybody jumps around everywhere, and I do it too. But I hate it. I don't like it. It's just stupid. Like seeing everybody like be hopping around everywhere to me is retarded. Like I just don't like it. I kind of wish they like
brought back slide canceling.
No, not brought back slide canceling. I want them to literally leave slide canceling as it is, where you can't really do it without dying, and just make it so you can't jump. Like not jump at all, but like you can't chain jump. So like if you're gonna jump, you should get only one jump, and then after that, your character kind of just like like barely gets off the ground. It's something that's been done in other games, which I would like to see in this one. Because I just don't like the whole. Again, this is just a Call of Duty specific thing, but like idea of like trying to like do these sweaty like gaming the system mechanics, like slide canceling, reload canceling, because that's another one. Yeah. Which actually is part of my keep list, is the new reload system. But yeah, the music. I don't know if this is a beta thing. There's nothing wrong with the music, but it sounds exactly the same as the last Modern Warfare. And I want new music, especially for the menu, because I feel like it's always been iconic for Call of Duty to have a banger menu music.
That's true.
Because I guarantee you, if I played a menu music from all the games, you probably know what game it is. So I want them to have a cooler song for the menu.
That's fair.
And progression in general has been completely changed this weekend.
Yeah, it's so slow now.
Weekend. Now it's hella slow.
So slow.
So last weekend it was like too fast.
They need
where
to
you would
somewhere
max
in the
out
middle.
in like 5 games.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
One
I guess
level a
it's
game.
not really like that big of a deal. Like I feel like it's honestly fair.
Nah, I think it needs to be somewhere in the middle, because like you said, last weekend I maxed out a gun. I've maxed out one gun in one game, like a game of domination with 40 kills.
I'm talking specifically player progression. Honestly, to me, the weapon progression, as much as I would like it to be faster, I think it's fair because of the new variant system. Because if you were to unlock everything as fast as you did in the first weekend, you would literally be max level in one day when this game launches, and that's stupid. It's not fair for them as a.
I don't want
company.
that fast, but I want faster than me.
But the thing is, it's already faster because this new system, because everything is shared. It's already faster. You're not doing 70 levels per gun now. Right. You're only doing it per family. Now you do have to use the different
gun for
certain attachments, but you still unlock a majority of it on one platform. And so the system is already honestly shorter than it should be.
I didn't think of it in that.
So
regard.
I think it's honestly the weapon specifically is fine. Player level to me is a little. I don't know if it's just bugged because of this beta, but it feels weird because sometimes it's super fast and then sometimes it's really slow.
No, I mean this weekend I feel like it's really slow because I
mean it's definitely slower than the first weekend, but like I don't like every time the game ends and it's like you're
it shows you
like sometimes it just doesn't move.
Yeah.
And it's like, what did I do wrong?
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, like I just played the game, bro. Why am I getting nothing? And then the next game, I won't even do anything crazy and it'll just shoot up.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
maybe it's just because it added
Is it just
the last
backlogged?
two.
Yeah. But that, again, if it just, I don't know if it's bugged or not, but if it is, fix it.
Yeah.
And that would probably alter my thinking of what it's like. Because right now I don't know if it's bad, like horrible or it's fine.
True.
But yeah, like I said, the weapons, honestly, as much as I would like it to be faster, it's not fair.
You're right. I didn't think about it in the sense that I'm already, because I started using the Lockman 762 this weekend.
Trust me, it took me a while to finish it.
But at the same time, when I did equip the Lockman, I already had
like
attachments.
You basically start with a full loadout.
Right.
So it doesn't even matter.
Able to. So it does make sense that it's not that big of a deal because instead of having to start with the base gun.
Because if you think about it, by the time you use a new variant, it's almost like you're starting with a new gun, but at level 30.
Yeah.
So you're already like halfway through it.
Yeah.
So it's really not that bad.
Yeah. You don't have to struggle with a
base
gun with no attachments for a couple games.
You start off, and like I said, when I used the Lockman 762, I already had a full setup. I didn't even change it the entire time I was using it because I was totally fine with what I was using from already earned attachments. So I think that's good.
Okay. All right. Keep list.
That was what is the weapon progression specifically is I actually wanted to keep.
You wanted to keep the what? Okay.
Hold on. Oh, sorry. Last and final. I promise. Final change. I want the streaks to go like round robin.
Oh, but that's actually a really good
non-lethal streaks. I do not want a chopper gunner to be able to get another chopper gunner. So I'm talking only UAVs, counter UAVs. So like
you're talking about like being able to earn more than one in one
life.
Okay, yeah, I 1000% agree with that.
But I don't, like I said, only non-lethals.
I don't think you can have it. I don't think you can have it that way. I think it's going to be either no round robin or because I mean, let's be honest. The amount of times
I mean, they could do it.
The amount of times that you would be able to earn 2 chopper gunners in one life. Pretty slim. And if you are
for
that,
us, it's pretty slim.
If you are that sweaty, then I mean, by all means, you earned that. But because that's 20 kills in one life.
But if you're using a chopper gunner, that's doable.
No. But what I mean is like, don't the kills of the chopper gunner shouldn't count towards a kill streak.
No, I know.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's what I mean. Like
once you finish the chopper gunner, you still got to get another 10 kills to get another chopper gunner, and that's pretty hard.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I mean is like it shouldn't for anything that's like actually killing things that high. It shouldn't count.
No, it shouldn't.
But everything lower, I think, should count. Because here's the thing: is this is one of the keep things that I guess I can tie it into is I like that you can swap between kills and score streaks. I use score streaks because that's just what I prefer because I'm more objective based. And because I'm using UAVs and stuff, that adds to my score.
Right.
Because when I kill somebody, if it's killed with a UAV or counter UAV, that's more points added to the kill.
Or even
when a teammate does it,
you get to 10.
So no matter what happens, I'm getting score. But because you only get streaks one time, that's it.
Right.
But because it's not killing anybody, I think it should be able to be earned multiple times. But I do not think it should be earned multiple times through kill streaks that kill. So like if you have a stealth bomber that just literally wrecks the entire team like multiple times because the spawns are weird or whatever, that shouldn't then give you another one.
Right.
It should only be one time. So like if you want to make it so a certain point level in the streak system, like like the I don't know the point exact, but
Yeah,
there's like a middle point
600
where
points
it
or whatever.
jumps from like precision airstrike and like everything above it is just killing things,
Yeah.
except for the advanced UAV, which is way up there for some reason.
Yeah.
Just make it so those can't be connected and earned multiple times, in my opinion.
I think that would take a lot of work, but I see your point. I do think that you should be able to.
It's been in older games. Like you could earn multiple streaks in other games,
but
except the killing streak, like the high streaks, don't connect.
Count towards
like
them,
you can get kills, of course, and get points, but it doesn't count towards your streak again. So if they just go back to that, I think it would be great.
I think they definitely need to. You definitely need to be able to earn more your kill streaks more than one time in your life, 100%. I think that's something that needs to be for sure changed. Yeah. So, okay. On my keep list, I have Prisoner Rescue. I actually really like the game mode.
I like all the game modes.
Yeah.
I literally just put keep all game modes.
Yeah, I don't have any problems with Knockout or. Obviously TDM and Dom are never gonna not be there, but Knockout is fine. Like I don't mind it, but I definitely prefer Prisoner Rescue to Knockout. They're very, very similar. It's just Prisoner Rescue has 2 objectives instead of 1.
Yeah, the only thing, like I think they're all great game modes. The only difference between Prisoner Rescue and Knockout is whether or not, for me personally, is whether or not I'm playing with people. If I'm not playing with other people. And I'm playing with randoms. Yeah, I'm playing Knockout.
Oh, okay.
Because Prisoner Rescue, it's fun, but it's not balanced because you have to do 2 objectives for one team, and it's not really fair, to be honest. Because of the way, like it's, I mean, it's a game mode that's typically in like Counter-Strike and Siege, where it's a hostage rescue thing. Except you have to do 2 rescues,
right? And
there's only 1 extraction point. Right. So like having to do it twice against a team is kind of ridiculous, to be honest, to win the game. If it was just 1 and you could choose which one, that's fine.
Right, like search.
Because you have to do 2, it's not really balanced.
The reason why I think it's okay like that is because if you're on the rescuing side where you're trying to rescue and not defend, if you do manage to rescue both of the prisoners, you get 200 points instead of 100 points. So you could pretty much finish a game in 3 rounds if you really want it, if you like had a good team that was, on it. So I think I hear you that it's kind of, it's way harder to be able to rescue 2 prisoners on a team instead of 1 or 2 objectives. But I think the reward for it is pretty equal.
The board is equal, but I have hardly ever seen it done.
Right, which is why the game lasts longer.
It actually does the opposite, in which it's so difficult that it actually does the negative effect, which is you might get 1 rescue, maybe. Usually, most of the time, the game ends in just one team dying versus the other, which means that there's a problem with the game mode. Like something needs to be changed. That shouldn't be the 95% outcome of the game is not playing the objective, because that defeats the point. If you just want a single elimination game mode, go make that a game mode and just have it literally, I don't know what you want to call it, like sudden death match or something. I think they've had it before where it's just single life TDM. If that's what you want, then they should make that. But if you want a hostage rescue game mode where the team actually saves the hostage, then you need to make some changes. It doesn't have to necessarily be like taking away a hostage or whatever, or a prisoner. Like I said, it just needs to be tweaked in certain ways. Because it could be either by, like you only need 1 rescue to like draw or something, some kind of compromise. Or if you, like, because even like one thing I think that should also be changed is like there's 5 rounds. Yeah. But in my opinion, if you win 4, honestly, maybe even 3 in a row, you probably should just win instead of playing all 5 rounds. Now, the only downside of that is kind of like what we did, which is you might have a comeback. Yeah. But if it's like, say, 1 in 4, like, I feel like you're probably gonna lose. Like, it's possible to come back, but like, do I really want to sit through and grind all those rounds? Like, at least as the winning team.
Yeah.
Like, if I end up winning anyways,
That's hard, though,
you're just
because-
pissing me off.
That's hard though, because on the flip side, like there are, I mean, I can remember a few situations where we were playing and we were down 1-4 and we brought it back and won. So
I don't remember winning, but
well, you might not.
got
It might have
close.
been like it might have
we
been without
ended up
you.
getting 4 and then losing.
I
which is
definitely
still
have done
fun.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, if it's not closer, like this is why it should vary. So like if you're 1-4, honestly, I think the other team should just win.
I think you're
if it's
adding
like-
a little bit too much complexity to the game, though. You're asking a little bit too much of the.
Not really, because it's been done on other games. You probably just don't realize it.
Yeah, but this is Call of Duty. They don't want to do that.
It's been in Call of Duty before. Like if you win a certain amount of rounds, you just win the game.
Right, but they don't want to do that.
But my point is like why are you making this longer than it needs to be? Because Call of Duty is a very fast-paced game.
Yeah.
So if I don't want to be sitting there for like 10 rounds in this one game mode for no reason.
Right.
Like if somebody's winning, just let them win. And if you're like if it's close, let it keep going. But if not, then why sit there?
Yeah.
And this is for specifically
Shit. How did that happen?
like I said, prisoner rescue, which is
Yeah.
a more competitive based objective game mode,
Right.
which I like a lot. But it's the same, like I said, it's in other games, like in Siege. And in Siege, if you're winning a lot versus the other, you just win.
Yeah.
Because you're probably not coming back. Because usually they can tell whenever, like, it'll usually go back and forth if you're actually, whether or not a team is
Properly
like,
matched.
yeah,
Yeah.
evenly matched, which is fun. But if you're just getting stomped, what's the likelihood of you actually coming back?
Yeah. But there's always a chance.
There is. But,
Okay.
I feel like it just hurts it more so than helps it overall.
Outside of that specific thing, I don't really have any other specific things that I want kept. I just like the game the way it is. Like I want them to just. I want to see the rest of the game,
Yeah.
and I want to see like how other game modes play and just the other guns, and I'm hoping that how is that happening? I just want to make sure that certain guns are in the game that should be in this game. That
Yeah.
I don't know
There's
if they
been
are.
some supposed leaks on the Xbox
Yeah.
side, file side.
But yeah,
Shadow.
so I'm hoping that they do it right. But so far, they're on the right track, in my opinion.
I think it's really good. Let's see, I already did the kill streaks. As far as the kill streaks go, I do like how they sound, and I feel like
Yeah.
they're very powerful, which I like.
Everything seems good
Because
to
it's
me.
not like, oh, I got this 7 kill streak and it sucks ass. Like
Yeah.
everything feels good for what it like.
It felt so good to call in a VTOL.
Like they sound good, they look good. The only one I would particularly point out is the cruise missile.
Yeah,
It looks nice. Like it's got a cool, cinematic in the beginning, but it's too long.
not only that, but I feel like it's hard to find people. Like when you're in the
viewfinder,
yeah, it's like
Yeah, it is difficult. On top of the
kinda like-
controls are shitty.
yeah,
And if that's intentional as a balance thing,
sure.
okay.
But I need to like. I don't know. There's so many times where I stopped using the cruise missile
Oh,
because
I just don't like it anyways.
I stopped using it because I would use it and then I wouldn't be able to find anybody and I'd just waste it.
Yeah.
Or I would just
wouldn't get a lot of
accidentally
kills.
kill somebody.
Yeah. But
you
I do
know?
think it, like, as far as power wise, all the streaks are pretty good.
Yeah.
The perk system, I actually really like
Yeah.
this. This
I
is
think they
something a
need
lot
to
of people
keep
are
it.
complaining about it. I disagree, and I think they should keep it.
I think
it
really
does
good.
exactly what it's supposed to do, which is it's supposed to pace the game.
Yeah.
And again, this is just, I think, a COD mentality that they just
Yeah.
want to be this super soldier all the
yeah.
time, nonstop. And nope, I don't care. Like, I think
Yeah.
this is totally fine. Works great. Does pace the game very well.
It does.
Adds a benefit to things that we had issues with prior. So now streaks are stronger.
Right.
Like I said, UAV is even stronger in the beginning of the game than it is in the end of the game because you can't have ghosts in the beginning of the game.
Right. Not only
So I
that,
like
but
that.
not running a suppressor, like that.
Well, that ties into the minimap thing where you don't need one to stay off the minimap anymore,
yeah.
which I honestly don't care.
Sure.
But because it's not like I don't really care if people use suppressors or not. It still gives you the added benefit of everything else that a suppressor gives you, and then some. Because in this game, like some of them add like recoil control and stuff. So there's like different benefits that you get from suppressors. But I don't know. I like the progression system. You unlock them even faster this weekend than you did last weekend. I know that is one of the things that they tweaked.
Yep. Definitely.
I think it's good. Like I like how it works. I like the perks they got where they're at.
Yeah, I don't really have any problems with the perks at all. And in fact, I set my perks last weekend and I haven't touched them.
Exactly. Like mine hasn't changed.
I haven't touched them. I haven't even thought about touching them either.
Yeah, I mean, until everything comes out in the full game, like I probably won't mess with it too much right now. Like
I might experiment a little bit here and there, but I actually really like the perks.
I'm gonna like when the game comes out, I'll test out different setups, but for the beta, as far as it's concerned, I think it's really good. Hope it stays.
And I actually really like the perk set thing, where you set the perk set.
Loadout.
Yeah, I actually personally like that because I can build a perk set for like trying to be sweaty, or I can build a perk set for trying to be sneaky.
Yeah.
I can build a perk set for sniping. I can build a perk set for this. And then during the game, if I decide I want to switch a loadout or I switch to this gun or whatever, I can just swap my perk set to whatever it is that I want.
Yeah.
And it makes it a little bit, in my opinion, if you do the proper setup beforehand, it makes it faster. To be able to swap between different stuff.
I could see this being a negative for somebody, but because it's like you're adding another menu system for the classes. In that sense, I could understand, but it doesn't bother me personally.
Yeah.
So, but if somebody was to argue that with me, I would be like, yeah, that makes sense.
I could understand how people now, like, I just want to change this one perk, but now I got to make a whole new
your
perk
perks
set.
would be tied to your loadout.
That too.
Now it's two separate loadouts, right. So you can alter them interchangeably, which I like personally. Because like you said, you can change like, maybe I want to use this exact setup, but this game I want to camp more. Or this game I'm just going to rush nonstop.
Right.
Or this one I want to be getting streaks or something.
Yeah.
And so you can have like hardline and stuff, or I just don't want to be seen. You have cold-blooded ghosts, like everything. Just,
Yeah. No, I actually really like it.
So you can swap it on the fly. Yeah, I agree. I like it.
Keep it the way it is.
Yeah, I think it's good how it is. Again, people are.
Of course, people are going to complain, bro. Yeah, Call of Duty is the biggest game franchise in the world. You're never going to please everybody.
No. You give them what they want.
They're still going to complain.
Yeah, but yeah, so I think that's really good. Sliding and dolphin diving. I haven't checked, but I kind of want to. I think I want to change this in my controller settings to swap dolphin dive and slide. So to activate them,
you want to dolphin dive on a press, and then you want to slide on a hold.
Only because I feel like the slide has zero benefit. Whereas the dolphin dive, it's not used very often, but when you do use it, it's pretty nice. Like if you want to just sprint and across, you could just dolphin dive through a window, and like you're trying to evade somebody and dodge their bullets coming at you while they're chasing you. That could be helpful. Or if you're just messing around, you just want to dive off something. Yeah. But sliding, before it was broken because it was a broken game mechanic. Yeah. But now, because it's just like a intentional thing, there's no use for it.
Yeah, I don't ever slide.
Like it's so slow, which I think it's totally fine, that you're not dodging anything. Really. Like you might dodge some bullets, but the time it takes for you to stand up and run is so slow that you're dying at that point. You might initially survive, but you're probably dying after that. Yeah. So there's no benefit to it. Whereas dolphin diving, you could say the same thing, but since there's more physical movement involved because you're literally diving, you have, I guess, more of a chance to actually like run. But yeah, I think as far as how they function, they're both really good now. Because it was a little too slow in the first weekend, but in this weekend it's actually pretty good.
I like it. I like it the way it is. Keep it.
Some of the stuff we already went over. The spectate. I love
The third person.
helmet
the
cam
helmet cam
spectate.
Yeah.
People are complaining about this too.
Why?
Okay, so their
'Cause you
reasoning
can't
is
help-
justified. They're like, but at the same time, I don't agree with like
What is their
how
reasoning?
strongly they feel about it. So people don't like it because they're like, oh, then I can't tell if this guy's hacking or not. But to be honest,
Who cares?
everybody thinks everybody's hacking
Not only
just
that,
because
but
they're better than
what
you.
are you gonna do about it if they are hacking? You ain't gonna do
But
anything.
the thing is, too, like, if you think they're hacking, because even though, like, I know it's like a third-person view, but there is a
You
level
can tell.
of, like, physical movement that is unnatural
Yeah.
for somebody to be able to do.
some would consider unnatural.
Yeah. Now, there are some individuals out there that are, like,
Just
gods. Like, they're literally living aimbots. The likelihood of me running into you being that good is
super
very low. So if I see you and you're just standing there and you just immediately whip back and headshot somebody, the likelihood of you being legit is pretty low.
That's such a dumb reason for not liking that.
So that cam,
thing.
in my opinion, is so badass.
It's-
It's literally the coolest thing I've seen on a call, like, as a spectating mode. Now, I do have a middle ground to approach this. If they want to change this, is just make it an option.
Sure.
So you can
Yeah.
swap between first person and the helmet
the
cam.
helmet cam.
Because I'm going to keep the helmet cam because it
Yeah.
looks badass.
It looks cool.
Super cool. Like this, like the level of coolness, like the NVGs in this game, which we haven't seen yet, but I hope it's still there.
All right, it will be. It will be.
And I would be surprised if it's not, but it looks badass.
Yeah.
I guess this can go right into my final thing, which is third person game
the
mode.
mosh pit.
Yeah. I mean, that's the specific one they have in the beta, but just third person in general.
Yeah.
I love it in this game. I think it's really good. The only reason I think people have an issue with it, because people are complaining about this too, is because you're not a third person player.
Which
Like
is
a lot
me.
of the stuff they complain about are standard third person problems. So, like, for example, the thing, I think you agree with this, is that you don't like the first person swap.
Oh, like
The aim. So like when you aim
down.
when you ADS, it actually ADSs.
Yeah.
So you go from third person all the way to ADSing.
Yeah.
This, in my opinion, is the best route for a third person shooter to go, because the only alternative is, which you still have in this game, but not as much because of that, is the inevitable cheating with third person. So in third person games, it's super common that people
Put a
corner
dot.
peek.
Yeah.
I do it because why wouldn't you? It's just it's inevitable. It's literally, you can't help it. There's no way to get around
Well,
it.
it's part
However,
of third person.
for those of us that have played third person for years in all kinds of other games, there's two different ways to go about it, which is you only third person, meaning when you ADS, it just does like a slight zoom over the shoulder, so it's still third person. Or it's like in this game where it goes all the way to first person, which is balanced in my opinion, because you can't always corner peek. So now
You can
I can,
corner peek,
I
but
can
once
sit on a
you-
corner, but as soon as I make that decision to engage, I have to ADS.
Right.
Which inevitably skews my ability to cheat.
Right.
Versus other games where I can sit on a corner, see you running at me, and just literally walk into your head and click and you die.
Yeah.
But you can't do that in this because you have to ADS. And that slight time change of you going from third person to ADS can be the difference of that other person beating you or not.
Yeah.
But so I like exactly how they have it in this game. I think it's super fun. They had it in the original Modern Warfare 2,
Yep.
and I still like it in this one. Looks cool.
I am one of those people that is not a third person.
Yeah, which is totally fine.
Player. I'm not. But
I only wanted to bring this up because of those people that are complaining about it.
well, what I will say is I'm indifferent about it. Like, I'm not a third person player. I don't enjoy the game mode because I just don't enjoy third person.
Right, but all you have to do is just not play it.
But I just won't play it. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
which
going to
is
complain
fine.
about it because I think as far as the game mechanics and stuff go, it's solid. Like, it's fine. And from
Which
your
is-
explanation of it, it seems like it's run well. But I just don't care for that particular
which
type
is
of gameplay.
that's the attitude I want people to have.
Well,
is if you don't like it, just don't play
it. Yeah,
but don't start making these accusations like you think you know what should be in this game mode when it's not your game mode.
Yeah,
because like I said, for people who have played third-person game modes for years, this is no different.
This is the way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a sense, yeah, this is the way of how this is one of the ways that third-person game modes are handled, and in my opinion, this is the more balanced version. Yeah. It's not as cool. I actually prefer the over-the-shoulder aim because it literally just looks cooler.
Right.
But you know,
it's more
like I said, this is more balanced being this way. And on top of that, you get to show off your skins up close and stuff. You know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, basically, stop complaining. Stop being little babies and complaining about every little problem because you're not a game developer. You're welcome
to complain. Just don't act like it's constructive criticism when it's not.
Yeah. Well, just stop. Like, all right. And, you know, we did spend half this episode complaining, so I can't say stop complaining. But you got to have...
Right, but we gave...
constructive...
That's what I'm saying.
You got to have, like... You gotta have a solution. You can't just complain about something like, "Oh, I don't like this," and not have a solution in order to fix it.
How do we change it?
Yeah,
but how do we compromise?
Okay, you don't like this. What would you like instead, or what do you want to change about the thing that you don't like?
Like there was a few things I brought up that I was like, I think it's fine how it is.
Right.
However, if you want to change it, I would agree to this.
Yeah. So you guys just gotta change your mindsets, y'all. You gotta think about it in a sense that like. We're trying to make the game better instead of just shitting on the game.
Right.
You know? Like, don't.
It's. I feel like now that we have this channel, because I've been a part of like the community for so long.
Yeah.
But I've never said anything.
Right.
Because I kind of just lurk and watch, read things and watch people's stuff. But now that we are officially part of YouTube, I feel like I should be like. It's important for me to speak out against my fellow YouTubers because I'm looking at you guys.
Stop. Just let's all be a little bit better about the way that we complain, or like let's figure out a way to make things better instead of just crying about things.
Yeah.
All right. We'll end this video here. Just talk about real quick the weekends for those of you that still may not know. This weekend.
Can I do one more thing?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Remembered. Sorry. It's for just a keep that I like, is the reloads.
Oh, yeah, reload animation and the fact that you cannot cancel reloads.
Right. You kind of can.
Well, there's a certain point.
Now there's like a staged reload system.
Yeah.
So, there is a point in time in which you cannot cancel the reload, which I like. I just wanted to, I like how it is. Please keep it.
Yeah.
Makes
it just a little more realistic.
There is one compromise that, no, actually, I take that back because the reasoning somebody gave about it initially sounded good, but I realized it only sounded good because they were complaining about it for their benefit.
Yeah,
which was they used it's stage reload thing. It's somewhat realistic, right?
Yeah.
But then they wanted to be like, oh, but I should be able to cancel this because that's realistic. And then it's like you're getting real specific.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little weird. I don't really like it that it's because it's realistic. I like it because it's balanced, in my opinion.
Yeah. It doesn't allow you to just...
They just did it in such a way that it's somewhat realistic. But I like it. Hope it stays.
We'll keep it. Yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is currently Saturday the 24th, which means this is the first day of complete open beta for anybody. Anybody that is on any platform, whether you've pre-ordered the game or not, you can play the beta starting today. And this episode...
you're playing it.
This episode should be uploaded today. So, you should have.
Go out, download it,
just
play
go
it.
download.
It's not a super big download.
It's like 25 gigs, I think.
It's like 20 gigs.
Or 20 gigs, yeah. Just go download it, play it, because ultimately this is going to be where you figure out whether or not you want to pre-order this game.
After you play it this weekend, come back and let us know how you felt about it, and maybe you'll notice some of the things we talked about.
Yeah.
And you can give us your opinions on them.
Or maybe you notice some things that we missed, or... what I would like to know is whether or not you're going to pre-order this game. That's the question I have. Last episode, I asked you guys what loadout you're running. But this episode, I want to know,
convinced?
Or did this beta convince you enough that you're going to pre-order the game? Because for me, I pre-ordered the game with the intention of playing early access beta so that we could have content for the channel. But I think I can wholeheartedly say that even if we didn't have this channel, I probably would have still pre-ordered, and I would have been just fine.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to the full game.
To see the full game.
Yeah, which comes out
apparently
October 28th.
I think Warzone got delayed too.
Oh, really? I'm not surprised.
I think it, honestly, I wanted it to be anyways.
A little bit more, yeah.
In fact, even with whatever delay I think they came up with, I feel like it still should be longer. I think you guys should just take all the time you need, release that thing months, like 2 or 3 months after.
Yeah. But take the time that you need to make it good, because the last thing I want is a half-cocked Warzone 2.
Because I'm going to be honest, a lot of the stuff that I've been hearing about it,
a lot of the stuff I've seen, I'm not
super excited.
Yeah. So I want, take some extra time. Listen to what the people that have been able to play it already are saying, and let's make Warzone 2 better than Warzone 1. But Modern Warfare 2 launches on October 28th, ladies and gentlemen, a couple days before Halloween. And if you pre-order the game, you will get early access to the campaign starting on October 20th, which I think is going to be awesome. I can't wait for that.
And I think we talked about in the first video, if you pre-order digitally on PlayStation, we get free skin
through the PS Store. You had to digitally pre-order through the PlayStation Store, and you get the Oni operator pack.
Right. So not in game, not in any other Call of Duty, specifically the PlayStation Store.
Yep. So that's all we got for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know how you guys felt about the beta and this weekend. We're stoked. We're excited for the game launch, and we look forward to seeing your guys' comments down below. Please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Check out our social media. Any Kind Cast members it's just Any Kind Cast, right? Or is it Any Kind Cast on Instagram and Twitter, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Bravo 6 going dark.